I want to make this clear. I'm not trying to make something out of nothing. All right? We really don't do that. Gator and I have had long strategic talks about how to do the show. And we're not going to bring things to the air and pretend like we believe them. We're going to talk about a lot of different angles of stories. I am not trying to make something out of nothing. And I'm even a little scared to share these feelings because I admit there's a probability that they are unfounded. But I'm getting slightly antsy about the lack of reporting on Goff and a Goff extension. And I'm clearly in Camp Goff, all right? And I think you have to be in Camp Goff to even feel this way. I want them to re-sign him. Not at any cost, but I'd probably be happy and satisfied with a signing that's even a bit more annual average value than others are. I would say that my confidence level that Goff was coming back after last year was at 99% going into the offseason, maybe even higher. I will say it has dropped. It has dropped to 95%, which is still a high probability. I do find it curious that there is no reporting on that front, and their quotes about Goff don't talk about the future. It is very well likely nothing, okay? I get that. And I was like, do we talk about this? Do I admit that I'm having these weird feelings about it? And then I saw on your show sheet you mentioned, is it curious there's nothing about Goff?
Well, I wonder how specific they've been with him and his agent about what their plan is, what their timeline is.
Yep.
I think they truly do not want to negotiate through the media, in the public. They're not going to do that. So anything that happens is clearly done behind closed doors and done with the utmost secrecy.
Mm-hmm.
I also get the feeling that they have communicated, because obviously it's a quarterback and it's a big thing, but that they would have communicated with Goff's camp, hey, your priority, but our number one priority right now is going to be to get a deal done with Amon-Ra, because we want to get this one done quickly. And Lee McNeil is another one we got to get done this offseason. And, but you're on the list, but understand that we've got at least one that is a higher priority right now.
Right. I mean, I would even love just to hear, hey, we've had initial conversations. We have a timeline of when we're going to sit down, and they're aware of it. The Goff camp's aware of it.
Yeah, we're not going to hear it. Because
we're not going to hear what that timeline is, or we're not even going to hear that.
I don't think we're going to hear that. I think this is, you'll hear about it when they want you to hear about it. You're not going to get any inkling to what the plan is on a timeline. You're just going to have to decipher it as it goes along. Like right now, the timeline is urgency to get something done with St. Brown. And then if that gets done, then you might hear a story about, hey, you know what? They're talking with Jared Goff. And then you start to put the timeline together and say, well, clearly the priority was St. Brown, then Goff, then Neal, then Decker.
I'm curious and slightly antsy. I'll just leave it at that. But again, I'm not trying to create something out of nothing. But I don't think you are, but I do think you're kind of,
No, but the wheels are turning in my head. And I'm trying to think, well, if not now, then what's going on there? Do you obviously he's got the whole year to play under contract. If the Lions wanted to, they could franchise him or transition tag or whatever it is the next offseason if they wanted to. And maybe that would buy them time and save them money. And why would you want to buy time? Well, you either buy time because you want to make sure that you've got a little bit more knowledge of what the cap is going to be in the future, or you want to buy time because you want to see what you have with Hendon Hooker, and maybe you can get a real discount at the quarterback position. I think those are way on the downside. I think the likelihood is they get something done before the season starts.